Blah, 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 blah. All right, people, settle down. Okay, now, how many of you played musical instruments before? Do instruments of torture count? No. Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument. Horseradish is not an instrument either. Well, that's fine. No one has any experience. Fortunately, I have enough talent for all of you. When do we get the free food? Okay, try to repeat after me. Brass section, go.
Now the winds.
Good, now the winds. and the drums. Too bad that didn't kill me. That's
all right. That was great. I'm glad that we all got to chip in on that one too. The group effort on that quote. If you guys do not know where that lovely quote is from, that is SpongeBob. Is that Band Geeks? That is Band
Yes.
Geeks.
Band Geeks.
Yep. The end of SpongeBob. That is where
Top
it ended.
10 episode. Top
That's
10.
probably the #1 episode.
Yeah, most likely. Great episode. I think that's where SpongeBob ended. You know, like original SpongeBob. That is.
That was
end.
like the
It's like his
finale of
magnum
season
opus.
2.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was really inspirational. It came out right after 9/11 too, and people thought it was really inspirational and saluted the
Patriotic.
firemen and the troops. Hooray for the firemen! Yay!
Yeah, so if we could pretend that Squidward was a policeman or a fireman.
Is that why they had the guy go as like a plane, the flag
No,
twirlers?
no, the flag twirler, they were spinning him, and he's like, come on, flag twirler, spin, spin, spin.
Was that why
And
they
he spinned it
crashed
so
into a
fast.
building?
No, it was a blimp, and he blew up.
Yeah.
He just spinned it so fast, he took
Spinned
off like
it?
Yeah, he spinned it so fast that he took off like a helicopter. It was like,
What did he
and then, like,
spun?
what? No, he spinned it.
He spinned. He spinned.
Spinned? Okay. Just checking.
Spinned?
All right. Well,
I went to spinned
Miss-
class.
Miss
What?
Ash, he spinned his flag too fast and took off. He spinned.
welcome back to another episode of Bump That, episode 55. If you guys don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
Correct!
We've got Kate T in this corner.
Spinned.
I was hoping you would say, why you? And I'm Ileana, your host, and we are siblings who have a love of nerdy things and all things in that realm, and decided to share it all with you on the internet, and here you are listening. Welcome. We've got quite a show for you guys tonight.
It's already
I don't believe
testy.
you.
It's already
believe
really
you.
testy.
No, it's going to be a heated one, I think. We've got some opinions out here. And also, it's going to be a fun one. Lighthearted, talking about, in the trunk, Jackass. Whoa!
Brown, 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 brown.
But we also just had a Nintendo Direct drop today at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So we've got some differing opinions, if you can't already tell. So we'll be talking about that right before the chunk. But before that, we've got some news. National Treasure series coming to Disney Plus. Are we interested? Catherine Zeta-Jones has a starring role. Possible villain?
So, if you guys are fans of the Nicolas Cage movies that came out in the early 2000s, a few of you guys are. I think they're pretty decent. But you're going to have a whole new show about a group of adventurers looking for treasure, and our girl, Catherine Zeta-Jones, is going to be a villain, and I think she'd probably do fine at that. So I think it's, I think people are really looking for, like, Indiana Jones-esque adventures and Uncharted, all that. I think, you know.
It's coming to Disney Plus, and it's a series. That's interesting. Wonder what are they gonna do? What's gonna be different? So the synopsis you've got there.
The series focuses on a young heroine, a brilliant and resourceful young woman who embarks on the adventure of a lifetime. Because what adventure isn't one of a lifetime? It's not the adventure of a day or a week. No, the adventure of a lifetime to uncover the truth about her family's mysterious past and save a lost Pan American treasure. So
A lost
it'll be like
panda?
Dora. It'll be like Dora the Explorer, except with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
All right. Is this what people want though? Who's I don't know. Who's excited for this type of thing?
Catherine Zeta-Jones as Dora.
Oh.
And this monkey as
It's got an audience. People that love those swashbuckling adventure films, the Pirates movies, the Indiana Joneses, the Uncharted's, all that kind of stuff. People that love that. There's
Yeah.
it'll probably be somewhat family friendly, so families can watch and probably no Nazis or anything, but that's fine.
There had better not be any Nazis.
No, not like pro Nazis, but like
No,
Nazi
I know,
villains.
like Indiana. Yeah, still. No.
Crystal
possible.
Skull.
Any Indiana
such
Jones
a
movie.
good movie. Oh my gosh.
The fourth one?
Yeah, probably one of the best movies ever made of all time.
Refer to our past episode on Indiana Jones where I burst a blood vessel in my forehead.
We're about to burst one right now.
Uh,
Moving on, we've got Magic Mike 3. I forgot there was a second one. Rumored and with Matthew McConaughey.
Magic Mike XXL. Ooh.
With
well, you would
Channing,
know, Pink.
with Channing Tatum to return again. So we've got both leads coming back for a third film. I mean, why not?
Yes, count me in.
I saw the first one and it is so dumb.
Is it?
It is absolutely so stupid. And not to be gross or anything, but even like the scenes that were in the club, those were dumb too.
They
Maybe I
weren't
just don't
like
like
they're
that,
supposed to be raunchy, but it's not a good raunchy, right?
Yeah, it does. I don't know.
You're like
it just-
embarrassed raunchy, like
No, not like.
Like cheesy, cringy, or something.
like I'm supposed to really be like, oh my god.
Well, they were looking for a reaction, but I was like, okay,
This
like,
ain't doing it for me.
no, I got a Wesley.
Okay, you're done.
But I don't know. But when it comes to the actual story, the first one was really dumb. It was really stupid.
I haven't seen any
I'm sure.
of them.
I'm sure there are a lot of people that'd be like, "Oh, but it's a story about a guy that's trying to find himself and
What
trying
if
to
they
take him out of
were like,
places."
let's go in a different direction. Let's see. We got Matthew McConaughey and Channing Tatum. What if we got Josh Gad? And
Oh,
he's
my
trying
Lord.
to become, and so they
A
got to
Chip and
whip him
Dale?
into shape. Yeah, Chip and Dale. Kind of like the old Chris Farley, Patrick Swayze, Saturday Night Live
Oh
skit.
yeah.
And so they're trying to train Josh Gad to be like.
Well, then it would be more a
you know.
comedy,
And I'd see that. That's hilarious.
because the
idea.
other two are not comedies per
No, they're
se.
not.
They're supposed to be taken
they're
seriously.
dramas.
Yeah.
They're more
So
so
if,
dramas.
if they made a third one a comedy, it'd be like watching 21 Jump Street or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Jonah
I'm sure,
Hill. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my. And I'm sure at this point, Channing Tatum, he's not as much of a beefcake as he was before.
Well,
he's still a beefcake, but that cake
still
is
is.
looking a little.
Well,
I'm
even
sure
now,
he's at
I
that
think he's
age.
more of a meme than like an icon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
you
remember whenever he did that SNL, I think it was SNL or maybe a Jimmy Kimmel or something, when he dressed up as Beyonce and, did the whole set on stage singing her, was in a black dress and black boots, had the
I
wig.
remember that.
Oh man, that was great.
Little
So I think
boots,
now
yep.
he's more of like, and he's also been in comedies before, so I think he's more of a meme and less taken seriously in something like that. I don't know. That's my
And it's funny
perspective
because Channing Tatum is doing a movie with Sandra Bullock, The Lost Kingdom or some crappy title like that. check out the trailer. This movie is complete garbage. It's like for grandmas, literally. And Channing Tatum throughout the whole movie is like just riffing on himself, making fun of himself throughout the whole time for being just like a dumb guy, just with the great body, you know. But I don't know. I mean, he's a good actor though. He's done some good stuff too, though. So.
Well, there you have it. The next one on the list is Death on the Nile, finally getting released after COVID delays and the Army Hammer. Is that it? Army Hammer debacle.
Yeah.
What is this? I actually don't know what this one is.
So Kenneth Branagh, the director of Death on the Nile, he did Murder on the Orient Express that came out a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, that was really well received. That's
Was it?
This is the Yeah, this is the sequel to
I didn't
that.
hear anybody talk about that.
Yeah,
Maybe I missed it.
It's the Hercule Poirot mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Those were famous Agatha Christie books, and it was a big time show on BBC. Poirot, he's like a Sherlock Holmes guy with the funny mustache. Anyways, Death on the Nile finally getting released, with Gal Gadot in it.
Oh, I did see commercials for that. Yep.
Yeah, so the movie looks really good. But it has Army Hammer in it, and if you guys don't know, Army Hammer is a freak who is just got into some really weird stuff. Shall we say? We don't want to get into it because it's some really freaky deaky stuff. Anyways, the studio was like, oh, how are we gonna sell this movie? Our lead actor in the film is, you know, a creep, you know. But I think they're trying to figure out a way to just keep him like minimized while, I mean, it's a
Still
big
being the
big
lead.
motion picture. So, yeah. But it looks good though, you know.
You know who's also like in some hot water right now? Is Aquafina. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's garbage. I don't get it. It's just people just get ridiculous too much.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like everybody's kind of in their feelings with that one. They're like,
let Aquafina do her thing. She's great. She's funny. She's really cool. Let her do her thing.
yeah.
You know. So what if she likes hip hop culture?
And it's
is
not
that
like
really-
she was trying to degrade it, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know. So, I don't know. That's a whole other one. All right. GTA 6 officially announced. They're on 6. Why do I feel like they should be on 20 by now? Those are such
because
old games.
those games are masterpieces. Okay, they don't look like they were made 20 years ago, all right?
But
it takes a long time to make them, but they're worth
yeah, you're
the
saying
wait.
it could be definitely another 3 to 4 years before we even see the game. So we've got
Absolutely.
it announced, but it won't be delivered or whatever.
I remember like when Red Dead came out, the Red Dead 2, we saw like a teaser trailer of it, and I mean, the game almost looked like finished, but they were like, hold on, we want to make sure this thing is legit ready for you folks out there.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole another year and a half before that game actually came out. It was unbelievable what a wait that was. But at the end of the day, it was worth it. GTA 5 was worth it because that game's been around since 2013, and it's still a top 10 game.
GTA
it's one of the
5?
greatest games of all time. Yeah, that game came out 2013, right?
Oh my gosh, almost
Yeah, something
10
like that.
years? Sheesh.
Yes, and that game just...
And they're still
it's-
waiting for another 3 to 4 years before they release this one?
Well, because that game just did bonkers money.
So, what's it
you know?
going to look like then, graphics-wise? It better be looking like 10 times better than what Cyberpunk was supposed to look like.
I think
Do you
so.
feel me?
I feel like these guys, they take their time and they don't want to have the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that they released the Grand Theft Auto trilogy recently, and that had a lot of bugs. So I think that they had a lot of backlash.
They don't
want to
have what is that,
but
Fallout?
but for the most part, the Rockstar Studios puts out quality games with very few glitches and mishaps. So I mean, whenever that game comes out, it's gonna do unbelievable business that Hollywood can't fathom anything.
Yeah.
Netflix can't handle, because it's Grand Theft Auto 5 is like the biggest selling entertainment vehicle of all time. Okay, it's made more money than half the countries in Africa. So,
Sheesh.
put
It better
together.
be it better be a good one then. Bump that will be there in the 3 to 4 years until we see the game come out, and then Brian can review it for us. But speaking of a review, we have some things to talk about Arceus again. Katie, would you like to share now that you've gotten further in the game?
Just a little further, to be honest. This is gonna be lame-o, but I really am trying to finish Persona 5 Strikers, because from what I hear from all over the place, Arceus is addicting, and from what I've played so far, there's just so much content right out the gate. With each Pokemon that you capture, or each type of Pokemon. We'll say, let's say you caught a Wingull. I don't even know if that's a type you can capture in this game, but let's say you caught a Wingull. With that Wingull, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 items with it, and within those items, you can do those items like 20 times and get rewards from that.
Oh, you mean
up.
getting your Pokedex filled out?
Yeah, and not just that, like, you know, doing it over and over, that gets you higher rankings.
Yeah.
You know, because you're in this isn't a spoiler, but you are in the Survey Corps, which is hilarious because that's like, oh, when did we join
Attack on Titan's
exactly
world?
when did we join Attack on Titan? So with each Pokemon type that you catch, when you're trying to fill out your Pokedex, there's so much to do with just one Pokemon, and you want to do it, and you keep getting sidetracked.
Well, even there's quests of people who
Yeah.
are like, "Hey, can you complete this Pokemon's Pokedex for me and let me look at it?" It's like, when do you expect me to complete this? This is gonna take forever.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you have the regular side missions, side quests, on top of your regular quests. So I'm only about 10 hours max into this, and I am like nowhere near scratching the surface.
Yeah, I feel the same, but it has been a much more enjoyable experience compared to Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield was my very first Pokemon game that I ever played, and I was sorely disappointed. And I wanted to be so excited because it was like, oh, this is the new one. This is the exciting one. And yet it was so bland. The characters had zero feeling to them. None of the characters were memorable. Not even the character animations, but like the Pokemon animations were bare bones. It looked like it was still being rigged and it was in the process of coming to completion, but nowhere near it. And the slow burn of having to sit through every single cutscene of every possible thing they could imagine would need a cutscene was such a crawl. And it was agonizing sitting there being like, bored out of your mind. You're like, I'm going to take a nap right here just playing Pokemon. I'm bored out of my freaking mind. So for this game to be much more like player friendly in, all right, but we're going. This is fast paced. You throw that Pokeball, you catch it. You're still moving. You're not even stopping to look if you caught it or not. We're going away from it.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
gone. We're on our next thing. We're picking berries out of this tree with another Pokeball, and we're still moving. So 3 different things are going on at once, and you're still moving in a direction. And that's what makes it so much more fun.
And I like that you are more involved with your Pokemon. I'm a little sad that it doesn't act like the Pokemon that you want. Say you have your starter and you want your starter to follow you, like outside of its Pokeball.
Yeah.
It doesn't do that. You know, I'm kind of depressed. I'm kind of sad about
Well,
that.
no. Speaking of interaction, Sword and Shield's interaction with your Pokemon was sitting at a camp with them, making them soup, and throwing a ball or like wagging a feather in front of their face. And
I kind of enjoyed that.
While that was entertaining for like the first few times, you never went back to it. You're like, okay, I saw it 3 times, now I'm done. And now with this, it's like, oh man, I really want to level up my Pokemon. I have a crap ton of them, but gosh, I want to level them up, I want to build a team. This is very, like, involved in building a strong team, because I'll say, while I'm not a very experienced Pokemon player and I'm still getting the hang of like what types can work well against other types, I am like dying against some of the battles that I've been put in, and I'm like, my team is not strong enough, so I'm going back into the wild area, still trying to get their XP all the way up. So, and then trying to, you know, find the Pokemon that work best for what situation.
Now, Ileana and I were talking just in person the other day, and we agree that one of the biggest flaws in this game is the lack of sound effects from the people, from the characters. And I noticed how dead it just feels when you see this character talking and you're reading all the text, and it's just all you hear is the music. And it's like, you know, I'm playing Persona 5 Strikers right now, and it is 90% dialogue, but it's all voice acted. And it is like, why can't you?
Pokemon is a story-driven game. There is a story to it, so it feels like there should at least be some type of like sound effect with it. Indie games who have zero budget at all, like, or is that what I'm? No.
Yeah.
Their budget is $0. That's what I'm trying to say. Their budget is not limitless. They are very limited in their budget. They are trying to use every dollar sparingly, and yet they can still find the resources of getting voice actors to even mumble a sound. You know, just something. Doesn't need to be, you know, a thought. It doesn't need to be a sentence. It could just be a just something to make it more lively.
Yeah, and
that would be my only qualm with it, and like the, you know, popping in and out of the graphics. But
yeah, and if they were trying to emulate Monster Hunter or Breath of the Wild, which seems to be their inspirations, you know, at least even Breath of the Wild, at the very least, you'd get a ho-ho, or, you know, wow, you know, something like that. But
just to make it a little more personable.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, the game is addicting. It's a good one. Yeah, this is the Pokemon game.
It was hard for me to put down the other night, and I thought, man, I have to go to sleep. I have to go to sleep. Turn this off. Come on, man. You can play later.
It's very fun, very addicting. But we have to move on. In more Pokemon news, we just had that direct. All right, there's gonna be some battling out in here.
All right, I'm setting the timer for 10 minutes. Okay,
yeah, we're not going to go any further than the 10 minutes on this, so keep your thoughts quick and concise.
1, 2, 3, go.
And I have made it a point to not get heated about this. I'm just going to state my opinion. Brian's going to state his. We're all just going to state our own humble opinions.
And then Ileana's going to be in the middle. Yeah. Being, hey, back off there, buddy.
So, Katie, share.
Okay, the very first thing to show up was, and I got goosebumps on this only because I'm a fangirl for Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I've played it literally 10 times.
She's not joking.
I'm not joking. I've literally played it 10 times. I love this game. But the game that they're coming out with is a Heroes game, Fire Emblem Heroes 3
Warriors.
Hopes.
A Warriors game.
Sorry, not Heroes. Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, coming out on June 24th. The Warriors game has a style to it where it's basically you just beat the hordes of people, of enemies.
Beat the who?
The hordes of people that come your way. But there also is a story that goes along with it. And the defining thing for 3 Houses is its story. It's not the graphics, because the graphics are terrible. I would be the first to say that. It looks awful. That game looks ugly. However, the story is so compelling. It is so good that I want this game so bad already, right off the bat, just for the story. So Fire Emblem Heroes, Warriors. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote Heroes. Any comments on that one?
No, when I saw it, I was like, oh man, Kate's gonna blow up.
Yeah,
I was expecting her to be screaming.
And in fact, a buddy of mine, Daniel, he texted me and he's like, day one buy, we're gonna, and it has
it's already on pre-order.
Yeah, and it has online function to play with your friends. So he's like, I want a party day one. Like,
nice.
I don't know about that, but we'll get there, man. We'll talk about it. So people are already excited for this game, like right off the bat, and it came out of nowhere. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
The next game that was worth mentioning was No Man's Sky. It's coming out this summer. There's no date yet, but it's coming out during the summer. I would, depending on how much they're charging, I would like this game because it just looks fascinating. It had problems.
But this game has been out for like 3-4 years already now, though.
So it's on the Switch.
Yeah. So why would you want to downgrade? Pretty much.
I mean, if I wanted to,
if you've been playing it, if you've had it for the Xbox or the PlayStation all this whole time, why would you seriously like downgrade? You already have the other console.
I use my Switch for basically everything. I have Persona 5 Strikers on my PlayStation as well. I just use my Switch for most of my gaming. So because it's, going to be available on the Switch, why not? Why not? Anyway, I think it'll be interesting. And, they've done a good job of keeping it updated and making it better and better. So that'll be available this summer. So the next game that is worth talking about, the one that Brian just wants to launch into, which by all means is Mario Striker Battle League, which is coming out June 10th. So Brian, tell me your opinion about this game.
Okay, all right. So they see this game. It's just another generic Mario sports game. Mario playing golf or a tennis or a baseball. This time he's playing soccer/football, but the game looks like it was made in 2012, okay? The graphics are garbage. Just because you can play online with your Switch buddies doesn't mean a thing. It's just lame. It's just, come on.
Whoa.
Why are we just doing the same thing over and over? Don't Nintendo fans deserve more? Don't they deserve something fresh and new? This is not fresh and new. This is the same old stuff. You might as well just play Mario Kart. There is literally nothing different with this game than any other Mario sports game that is currently out on the market. It is just cut and paste your characters, your very fancy video game characters, the Mario characters we've had. It's just another rerun of Smash Brothers, except on a pitch. Okay, it's just, come on. Why are we doing this? Why can't we just do something fun and exciting with these Mario characters? Okay, or any of the Nintendo characters. When you have all those, when you have the ability to be Bowser or be Boo or Koopa Troopa or Luigi or Toad or Princess Peach or any of the other new princess girls that came out of nowhere, Mario. Why are we just playing these silly sports games that we've been playing for 30 years? There's got to be something new you can do with these characters where you can, play with friends in just a different environment. I don't know. Make it a murder mystery or something with Mario.
Murder mystery.
I don't know.
That's family friendly. Let's go.
Again, it's just these games look like they're just made in the Wii U era. They don't look spruced up. They're not cutting edge. Nothing is cutting edge. They're just they're almost board games. So I mean, that's just they don't get me excited.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you that sure, they could use some polish. However, you could say that about other games that are quote unquote more popular, such as the Madden games or the or the 2K games. It is literally the same.
But we're
thing
not
that comes
talking
out.
about those. We're not.
If you're
Let's
going
focus
to
on
say,
Nintendo. No, let's focus
I've
on
got a
Nintendo.
point. I've got a point. If you're going to hold up that standard for Nintendo, you have to hold that same standard to those other companies. And it's not a game that's meant to be there for looks. It's not there for looks. I've said it over and over that these Mario games, these niche titles are there simply for the fun aesthetic. It is there for fun. And if you look at the numbers, they do sell crazy. Like these type of niche games, I'm looking it up right here. Mario Golf Series has sold 8.22 million copies. Mario Tennis has sold 12.38 million copies. Mario Baseball has sold 3.37, and the Strikers series has sold 4.20 million copies. These things sell. They don't require a lot for them to be fun. But when you do add multiplayer, like you can have up to 8 people playing at one time in your house. You can have different clubs. You can be in a club online and play with your buddies, which right now is a huge thing because, you know, people still aren't traveling like they used to. So you can have these cool clubs and play against, other teams. That is a big thing. Also, it looks like it's made by this. I noticed the format of the screens, like when you want to choose your person and equip them with whatever. It is the exact same format as the developers who made Mario Rabbids. I don't know if that's true, but it looks exactly the same. Which,
all right, talk about some other games.
Yeah,
right.
really.
Let
me rebut though, quick. All right, to your point. Listen, the reason that people are playing these games is there are no other games to play. Nintendo has no other games.
That is absolutely not true.
They keep recycling the same sports games over and over. There's no other Mario games to play. Because there's nothing else.
There's
stuck.
many other games.
There's
not.
No,
they're not.
What else has Mario done other than sports and other than the regular standard games, the 3D games or the platformers? He's got nothing else. He does
Mario
nothing
Maker,
else.
He's got like I just said, he's in Mario Rabbids. They're doing cross-platform or not cross-platform. They're putting him in different things.
And exactly, that's been around for years now, for like 15, 20 years. What have you done new?
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario?
Yes, Paper Mario.
What is this, 1996? Paper
Are you
2D
kidding?
Mario?
There was a Paper Mario game that came out like 2 years ago.
Exactly. Why is Mario... This is the 3D world.
I see what Brian's trying to say.
It's 3D time.
He's like, we've got some higher, cards, graphics, whatever, that can hold more information. Nintendo is just holding back on what they're doing with the Mario series because he's such a beloved character that they're afraid to ruin him. So they are afraid to put him in anything other than what we are normally given because it's going to be out of the norm. People are going to be skeptical. They're like, oh no, this isn't our normal Mario, whatever. Okay, but moving aside from that, what else was there?
All right,
Kirby and the Forgotten Poop. Garbage. It's another Kirby game. That's dumb.
No, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, Brian. This one is completely different. This one is open world compared to what they've been doing in the past few years, which is 2D side scrolling. So this one's a little more different. Most people are excited about this one. Also, there's some more mechanics that have been added. So
yes, and it's a sandbox game.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. It's new.
All right.
It's exciting.
That
Front Mission 1. Mission. Why?
Why not? It actually looked pretty interesting.
Put it on a phone then, okay? Because that's literally what it is. That's the equivalent of what it is, okay?
So what? Why not?
Klonoa? What the heck is that? Is that the new brand of Omicron or something? Omicron Klonoa?
So go back to First Mission. Why not put it on the Switch? You have a lot of cheaper games on the Switch. And so you're promoting.
So you're a cheap gamer.
No, you are promoting smaller games.
Okay,
so
here's what I've got to say about that. You've got a small game such as that Front Attack, whatever it was called. I don't know.
which was originally a PlayStation 1 game.
Don't put it in a direct. That's what I've got to say. Don't put it in a direct. There are more better things that they could use their time with in a direct than a small game like that.
Yes,
people
but
people will find it in the shop whenever they want to find it. You can still announce it like in its own video or whatever. You don't need to put it in a direct that is going to be shown to everybody who's excited for something and fill it up with, smaller games that people are not going to care about as much.
Okay, but here's the thing. You also need to realize that these companies probably more than likely pay Nintendo for this ad space, because that's essentially what it is. And so if Nintendo is like, oh, well, okay, you're paying us money, then sure, we'll put you in our direct. You have to think about that. So if they decided,
I don't have to
I
think
still
about
don't-
that.
I still
Why
don't
is
think it's
Nintendo lowering their
Standard.
brand
they're
by
still,
putting
they're
a
still a business.
by
It's
They're
still,
still a business.
not a good business model.
no,
then,
because it looks like
looks
something.
like cheap stuff that they're putting in a direct.
It
that
looks
they
But
have
like
nothing
it
to
doesn't
offer.
look cheap.
It
I
doesn't.
actually
No
like
one's
the way
gonna.
it looks.
I don't know a single person who would want to play
I
that
actually
game.
had people mention it to me like, yo, let's go. As soon as it was mentioned,
Come
yo, let's
on,
go.
no! You guys are supposed to be the ones that are supposed to be like, "Where's the new Donkey Kong game?" You guys have been ever since we started this show.
That's what we're
Where
gonna get into.
is the new
Do you know
Donkey
how
Kong
disappointed
stuff?
I was the fact that Breath of the Wild was not mentioned at all?
That and
Yeah, we're-
Bayonetta 3.
I was very disappointed, and that's where it left me kind of like, maybe this direct
Yeah,
wasn't
but
as
we're
good
not
as it.
we're not talking about that. We're talking about what
This is
was
we're
mentioned.
talking about your direct that you so love and how Nintendo is like, where's all your good, new, fresh, fun, hotness? It's
That's
not there.
What we're talking
it's
about
not
right now.
It
We're
is.
talking
This is
about
what we're
was
talking
mentioned.
about.
Whoa,
We're
that's
talking
not what
about
we're
the
talking
direct
about.
Whoa!
and how it sucks. And every single
that's
game
not
that's getting
what we're
released
talking-
is
Whoa,
lame.
whoa,
Lame.
whoa.
It's
All right,
boring.
That's not what we're talking
You
about.
hush. Okay, what are we talking about?
We're talking about what was mentioned in the direct.
and
yeah,
how
but
it's lame.
we can still
It
mention
is
what
not though.
we can still mention what wasn't even mentioned and how that disappoints us, because I was heavily disappointed when I saw the guy, the announcer, I can't remember his name now, it escapes me, but he said, "This is our last showing," and I was like, Breath of the Wild, it's gonna be it. We're gonna finally get a title. We're gonna finally get a release date. And then I was met with something, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
We'll just go ahead and jump to that. So Xenoblade
I
Chronicles
was
3.
so disappointed to see that.
I was not. I absolutely was not. And that's coming from somebody that's played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that game was absolutely frustrating.
I just want to go on record, though. We are past our 10 minutes.
Well, whose fault is that? I mean, dadgum. And I still haven't even talked about the things that I liked about this.
You've talked a lot. You've talked a lot. Let somebody else pitch in. You've talked a ton. So
Okay,
hold
then.
on. Let me say something, dude. Okay, listen. If Nintendo came on there and they had presented some brand new cool Donkey Kong, some new Zelda, some new whatever, other stuff that you guys like that's more popular than Xenoblades. Okay, the stuff that the majority of people want to see. You know, Xenoblades is probably like 10% of the total output of Nintendo. Nobody else. No, hold on a sec, because you've been talking the whole time.
I have one sentence to say. It is one sentence. At the beginning of this
and that should be Taiko Rhythm Festival. Are you kidding me? Why are we wasting time on Taiko Rhythm Festival?
Can I say one sentence?
Go ahead.
At the beginning of this direct, right underneath, it said, this is what's happening in the first freaking half of the year. It threw in Xenoblade Chronicles as here you go for September. Everything else ended in July. All of this is coming before then. What do you want? I'm getting frustrated.
I see Nintendo fans out there starving. Ileana's dying for some decent Zelda news, okay?
We all are.
Okay, so you guys should be like, Nintendo, what the heck are you doing? We are
Absolutely
gasping
not.
for fresh air,
So
and yet you're
here.
giving me time. Well, hold on. One thing. Taiko Rhythm Festival, which looks like a game that was on Windows 95, okay?
But
Come on.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what that is? And the reason
It looked
why
like a
they
game
bring
with
it up,
flashing lights
No,
and
but that's
bongo
not what it
drums.
is. That's not what it is. You literally have a drum in front of you and you play the drum. You have to also understand, this is a game that appeals to people in Japan. This is not just a North American direct. This is also a worldwide thing. You have people that play and focus these things in Japan. This is a company that is focused and is bred in Japan. So you're going
So
to
they
see
only
this
care
thing.
about Japanese
Absolutely not. No.
Well, that's your argument right there. Your
No,
argument
I'm
is
saying
like
you're
we're only going to
appealing-
focus on Japan.
No, you are appealing to many types of demographics. Look, I haven't even mentioned the Cuphead DLC or Triangle Strategy.
Okay.
Nintendo
One more
Switch
thing.
Sports,
One more thing. I'm going to move
the
on.
Earthbound and Metroid Dread. We haven't even talked about Mario Kart paid DLC for 48 courses. I mean, you're focusing
That's fine.
on the things
That's
that
cool.
aren't there.
That's cool. The DLC is cool. That's fine. Here's my one thing, then I'm going to be done. This is my final point. Okay? If you look at the popular games that gamers are playing and they want to get their hands on, the new stuff, Taiko Rhythm Festival is not one of them. Okay? Top 10, not. Klonoa, not a top 10. Okay? Live Alive, never even heard of it. Okay? It's not a top 10 game. A top 10, the majority of people are not looking to spend their money, their hard-earned cash on Klonoa. Okay?
Okay, get off of your chlamydia, okay? Move on.
Hey, don't get that. People are going to think I'm, burning or something.
You guys have spoken a lot. I'm gonna cut you both off. You're done, both of you.
Yeah.
Done. You're not allowed to say anything else about the direct. I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents now. And this will be the end of it. I'm on the fence of both of you. I agree. There were some awesome things mentioned in the direct. We've got the Mario Kart stuff. Thank you. Finally, they're not open any of your mouths. 48 courses. However, it looked horrible to me. It looked like, I thought, okay, when they first announced it, I was like, oh, awesome, Mario Kart is getting something. And then I looked at it, and it looked like it was meant for the mobile game. And I went, wait, is that the mobile game? And then it said, no, Mario 8 Deluxe. And I was like, why does it look so cheap? So I was disappointed in that front. It looked cheap, and I did not like that. It looked like it was for the mobile game. I was very excited to see that we are getting Nintendo Switch Sports. However, the catalog was not great. It had a few games, and that was it. And it's coming out on my birthday, and I was excited to see that. But still, not a great... They're going to add on to it later on. It's going to be free, whatever, add-ins. They're probably just trying to get the game out as fast as possible. That's lovely. However, still did not seem that appealing right off the bat. Kirby, that looks great. I'm excited for Kirby. We've got Metroid DLC. I thought that was fantastic for the Metroid fans to be getting some hardcore DLC. You've got insta-kill. As soon as you get hit, dead. Game over. Every single thing. I'm like, emotional damage. Literally is what that one was.
Really? And that game's already, ridiculously hard. Fine.
So, yeah, that one, and then they have rookie mode. So I thought that was really nice to introduce that to both sides of the spectrum. People who are like, Metroid Dread was too easy, bro. And then people who are like, I wanted to love the game, but I suck. So I'm happy for both of those sides of the coin. Cuphead DLC is also awesome. So we've got a few things that are great. And we had some really things that no one's going to care about. There's going to be a niche community. Those are the nobody people, okay? I've been in those nobody communities.
Dang!
I have been in those nobody communities before, okay? You've heard of Night in the Woods. No one's played Night in the Woods. You hear some people here and there play Night in the Woods. I loved it. It's one of those nobody games, okay? There are few and far in between people who will play this game and enjoy it and love it. But to put it in a direct that is supposed to be, oh man, we only get these a few times a year, and this is supposed to be where you're throwing all your hard-hitting games and then to throw in a game that is not so exciting, that is very niche and, you know, not going to appeal to the masses, it's kind of a letdown to be put in a direct that we only get a few times a year and be like, wow, we got a few good things, but a lot of not so great things. So it's a little bit of a letdown. So while I was excited, I was also disappointed. And the one main hitter with that was no Breath of the Wild, absolutely none. We got Splatoon 3, but we've already seen that. I really honestly didn't need any more information on Splatoon 3 because I felt like I had already seen most of it, except for that we're getting the Salmon Run. That's exciting. But where was Breath of the Wild? I was sorely disappointed. No release date, no title. What the heck? Kate, what?
For Splatoon 3, the thing to take away is it's coming out this summer.
Okay. All right. We're going to drop the direct. That was what we had to say. I feel like we said quite enough. We're all friends here.
Vote for me.
We're all friends here no matter the heat. I hope you guys felt a little sweat dropping off of your brow after listening to that. I was like, So anyways, we're going to jump into the chunk zone.
Okay, and I'll take it away here.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about the franchise known as Jackass. That started back in MTV back in the year 2000, back when you kids were just little kids. That show aired for 3 seasons and introduced us to a wily group of stuntmen and gross out dudes, party guys and animals. Johnny Knoxville, Ben Margera, Chris Pontius, Dave England, Steve-O, Ryan Dunn, rest in peace, Aaron McGinnihy, Preston Lacey, and Jason Weeman Acuna. For 3 years on TV, they did a variety of different stunts and gross outs, oftentimes out in public, to surrounding people. They would even go to Japan and just run around in the streets of Japan dressed as pandas, freaking people out.
Great.
But Japanese people are so wonderful and polite, they just ignored them completely. In 2002, Jackass 1 was released. It was a very big film. A few years later, Jackass 2. Then Jackass 3D was released. Most of those films ended up being budget-wise very small, like $10 million, and these films ended up grossing over $100 million. This past weekend, Jackass Forever was finally released with a few of the cast, with a few more gray hairs and a few canes and walkers. Yeah, a few. These guys have taken a toll, definitely. I saw that, like, Johnny Knoxville, the main star of the show, has had over 17 concussions.
Oh my gosh.
It's brain. More than what like an average NFL player gets in his career. The other shows were released in conjunction with Jackass. Wild Boys, Viva La Bam. Johnny Knoxville ended up having a big movie career. He did Bad Grandpa. Eric Andre, who is also associated with those guys, did Bad Trip. Bad Trip is streaming on Netflix. I highly recommend it. It is super laugh out loud funny.
Which movie was that one? Was that where he's like going on a trip? Like
No.
around to like what is that one? I think I might.
No, it's like it's with Eric Andre. He's like in the South or something, and he's gonna drive to like Chicago or New York or something.
Is
like
that the one with Tiffany Haddish?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I
Yes.
did watch that one.
That movie is so funny.
So
and
dumb.
Yeah, so dumb.
The smoothie scene in that one.
So many gross out parts, lots and lots of male nudity if you're in for that sort of thing. Yeah, I love Jackass. I was a late newcomer to it. I think Jackass 2 is when I really got into the franchise and everything and just really enjoyed it for the most part. It's kind of the appeal of just watching people, destroy their bodies but also do really cool stunts, but they're having a good time even though they're just getting lacerated.
The best.
So I wanted
is just laughing along with them, I think.
Oh, absolutely. These guys, we don't get to see, like, a lot of the times, like, a few hours later when they're struggling, suffering, you know, peeing blood or something, which would always freak me out if it happened to me. But you know, they hang in there, and so yeah, right when and they always congratulate each other too. Whenever these guys do a stunt, they're always like, "Yeah, you did it, man. Yeah, nice job." So these guys do good work. So just to quickly discuss, you know, what you guys your experience with Jackass and 3, with Jackass the movies and everything. How can you guys say that Jackass has managed to stay relevant for the past 20 years?
Relevant.
Relevant. Relevant.
You said relevant.
I think we as humans like to laugh at ourselves when we screw up, and we're all just klutzy people. And so watching a group of grown men do it and just like destroy themselves in a
act like 15-year-old boys. Yeah.
And I've been watching it since I was like in 7th grade. And the boys in my school, they would be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go out to here, we're gonna get on dirt bikes and just, you know, be stupid and do stunts just like on Jackass. Oh yeah." And that was the thing to do, you know. And of course it's like, don't try this at home. And of course all the middle school boys are like, "Hey, let's go try this at home." So I don't know. I think that's how and why. And you know, people can be like, "Oh man, I bet that hurt," you know, from the comfort of their couch. And just, you know, just laugh. It's hilarious. It is stupid comedy.
And they do outrageous things. So I mean,
there is something kind of Tom and Jerry a little bit about it, you know, where it's just these crazy shenanigans that they find themselves in, and you know that normal people would be like laid out.
Well, it's
for,
always
like, weeks, you know.
You sit down and you think, what would happen if, and then they go out and do it, and you're like, so that's what happens. You don't have to wonder anymore. They did it for you. So I don't know. It's always maybe the magic of the show is just having the, what if this happened? Let's find out.
And I wanted to ask you guys, since you guys are ladies and everything too, and I was thinking about this a lot. So in the latest movie, the Jackass crew has always been a bunch of dudes, right? And I think with these guys, yes, with these guys getting a lot older and everything, their bodies can only take so much. So they do have kind of a changing of the guard. There are some new cast members associated, doing the stunts, doing the gross out stuff and everything. And they even actually have a girl do it. There's a woman on the cast now, but she didn't do like a lot of the more gross out stunts. It was just a lot of the regular sporty stunts or stunts with animals, that sort of thing. But I was wondering, why is it so funny to watch men get abused, but if this same thing happened to a woman, it is not as funny? Why is that so much?
Maybe it's a psychological thing.
Probably.
Maybe because men are predispositioned to protect women, and women don't like to look at themselves as weak. And so when one of them is being abused like that, it's like, oh, that's not quite funny. But then you see somebody like, her name escapes me, from The Heat. A movie like The Heat with Sandra Bullock and, what's her name?
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. If I were to see a lady like, if Melissa McCarthy, we'll just say, if she were in this movie, I would, like, pee myself. If she were, like, put in a lot of the same, like, physical situations that they were in, I don't see any difference.
I think maybe you have to already have that character about you, that you're a goofball, that you're okay to get down and dirty, you're okay to, you know, get injured or whatever.
Or,
so I think you already have
with the gross out.
Right. So I think you already have to have that sort of thing, like Rebel Wilson in what is that? Pitch Perfect. Getting thrown up on or whatever. Like, that is nasty, okay? But still, they did that and it was hilarious. But
or, you know, even someone like Emma Stone.
Yes.
When she was in oh my god, my brain's not working. Superbad. When she was in Superbad, and like, she had some things happen to her, like someone broke her nose, That's hilarious, man.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is
when Jonah Hill
absolutely-
punches her in the face. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
Yeah,
passes
like,
so
out.
you have to
Yeah.
already have
So-
that type of character, comical character, where you're gonna play along with everything that's gonna happen to you right off the bat.
So then here's my question then. So, like, in a lot of the Jackass movies, they're very, there's a lot of nut hitting, okay? I'm just throw it out like that. There's a lot of penis punching or anything like that. You know, a lot of just guys getting hit in the nuts and then falling to the ground in pain and
And
suffering.
I think maybe that's what is relatable for men to watch, because obviously women know that hurts you guys, and men know that really hurts. Like, we know the feeling of that, being kicked or punched or whatever, that it's uncomfortable, and so you just go, ooh, everybody's gonna go, ooh. But a woman, say like she's getting punched in the breast or something, is not gonna be nearly
that's the
as
thing,
funny. It's not gonna
is
be
that-
nearly as funny.
How can that be? Is there ever a point where that would be funny? Like,
Okay,
there's...
so I have a great example for that. So when I was in college, obviously I lived in an apartment with 3 other girls. And so you guys, guys hit each other in the nuts and think it's hilarious. We did something called Johnny Jab.
Oh my
where
gosh.
we would
Oh
literally,
my gosh,
we would
this episode is rated R already.
where we would literally like just walk up to somebody, our roommate, and just like with the back of our hand go wham. And
This is all consensual.
yeah, because like we did it to each other, and we all thought it was hilarious. And so
Does that hurt?
It does hurt. Maybe not as bad as a guy getting hit in the
Definitely
nuts,
not
but-
as painful as
yeah,
being,
but it does.
kicked
It
in the
does
nuts
hurt.
or
You're like,
something.
oh my god, like why would you do that?
So that's what I'm trying to say is a man wouldn't understand that feeling because it's not.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
not
I-
explicitly shown in media of stuff like that. You don't see women attacking other women and
Johnny
jabbing
Like,
them. But
remember,
you
like,
see all the time
remember, like,
men doing that.
Beethoven?
So women know.
Yeah, Beethoven. When Beethoven is about to get shot or whatever, and then the little dog comes and bites the
Yeah.
scientist on the nuts, and he's just
Yes.
swinging around with the dog, biting his wiener off and
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
And it's like when you're a kid, there's like, oh, it's so funny because he's a dude. But if a woman were to bite, if a dog was to bite a lady in her junk, it wouldn't be
There's
as
also
funny.
nothing there.
Right.
There's nothing to like.
Latch on to.
Yeah.
Okay,
truly.
Also in the Jackass movies, they put these guys through a lot of punishment. There was a scene in the film where they had a spider, a big, nasty,
Real?
hairy spider with fangs. Oh
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
It was real.
No.
Okay, and
Yeah.
and the spider, they took the spider and took it up to a guy's chest and had him bite his nipple. The fangs pierced his nipple.
Gosh,
So this is a movie, and listen, the Jackass movies, they have no
Oh my gosh,
shame
no,
when
I
it comes to male nudity. They have no shame. You see junk galore. You see the guys handling, not in a sexual way, but they're handling their junk and having it punched, slapped, beaten,
Oh my gosh,
crushed.
There was.
You
so many ways.
nonchalantly
But
said the spider thing, and I'm still stuck on that.
But
Ugh.
could you do that with the woman? Could you do that at all? Are we at this point in society where we're ready to have a woman's nipple get
I think so.
bit?
By a
But is that
spider?
funny? Would that be funny though?
I don't know if it'll be funny, but I think.
Like
we're at
I
a
said, you
point
gotta
where-
find the right woman.
Yeah. Okay, Melissa McCarthy. She would do it in a heartbeat, I think.
But would we laugh at it as an audience in our society? Would we be like, "Oh, I can't wait to
It's
see
just,
this
it's
lady's
just the fact of normalizing it,
breast.
just like they
Yeah.
normalized men being punched in the balls. It has been in society.
But that's-
it's been in society for so long that even a
Oh,
woman,
so long.
without
No, I
knowing,
agree.
she doesn't have
Yeah.
one, obviously, so she doesn't know what the pain feels like. But we've seen it time and time again. This equates pain. Being hit there is painful, and we find it hilarious because men find it funny too. So
That's
everyone
true.
equally thinks that's hilarious that he just got kicked or punched or bit, whatever. And for a woman, it has not been normalized yet in media or whatever. So it would eventually need to take that step of, okay, here's a boob, it's out, she's getting bit by a spider, and now we're all laughing. And it just takes that initial thing to get it going. You need the Melissa McCarthy person, whoever that is, but has that already funny level.
Fearless.
Like Tiffany Haddish, even she's got that too. I would say she could be just as good on a show like Jackass. So that's my... It just we need to be normalized and say boobs feel pain just like your junk does. Maybe less, but it is still painful to be like punched and, you know, smacked or whatever, bit by a spider. So it just needs normalization if that's ever gonna happen.
Cool. No, that's good. So I just wanted to take just a little bit here with the time we have left. I know we're pushing for time, but just talk about a few of the favorite memories, stunts, gross out moments the series has had over the past 20 years, and what do you guys remember the most?
One of my favorite ones. It was so disgusting. I saw this in theaters and I started gagging.
Yeah.
Preston was...
It's always him.
I think it was Preston was in a body
the plastic
suit.
bag suit. Yes.
Exactly.
I knew the one. I knew it because it's so good.
What'd they do?
He farted. Well, you tell it, Brian.
Not that one.
Oh no!
What?
Was it the one?
I thought you were talking about
He did two.
Preston.
Like
he was like in cellophane, and he was on a bike, like a Peloton
where he
bike
was
or whatever.
sweating.
And he was sweating, and they
then,
had
like,
all this sweat, just going into like a funnel, and it was just filling up this jar. And then Steve-O takes this jar, and you just smell it, and he just drinks the sweat. Oh, man. And it's just instant puke-orama.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That made my eyes
awful.
water. That's disgusting.
It was so bad.
Ew.
And it was like a barf-orama because Steve-O thought it was gross, and then I think like the cameraman barfed too.
I think that his name is Lance, and he's in all the movies, and he's always puking. That's kind of the gag of theirs. Yeah.
He's got a weak stomach. Wrong business to be in, man.
The only other one that I wanted to mention, it's probably the greatest one, is when Steve-O is in the porta potty. And
it's a
they
great one.
launch it. He's the human slingshot or whatever. He's only got goggles in, and he's strapped to the seat like a roller coaster ride. And they launch the porta potty into the sky, and all of its contents just goes flying.
It's dog poo. It's filled with dog poop. They put like all these buckets of dog
and
fecal matter in there.
The fecal matter goes flying all over the sky. It goes everywhere, and everybody starts throwing up. It was amazing.
Can you imagine the stench of like 30 dogs' poops?
Afterwards, he opens the door slowly, like he's shaking. He opens the door, and everybody just like falls back. Man, it was great.
Oh my gosh,
that's amazing.
Oh man, there's a few
that
like
is such my humor though. Like
it is.
People. Okay, so I had a few friends over one night, and there's a guy on YouTube called the LA Beast, and he does a challenge where he eats a bag of 5 pounds of gummy bears, sugar-free gummy bears. And if you know sugar-free gummy bears, it opens up your stomach to release yourself. And he ate the entire bag, and the sound afterwards. My friends were like, Ileana, you find this funny? I was like, this is hilarious. So that type of like gross humor, but it's not me. Oh, it cracks me up. What was one you're gonna share, Brian?
There's three really quick ones, and for me, to me, Johnny Knoxville, he's the main host, the star of the show, and everything. I think he's very underrated. I think he's got incredible charm. He is a complete stuntman in the same vein as Evel Knievel. I think he is just a great star. And I do look up to him. I mean, he's not a role model and like, yes,
this is what I want to be someday.
Yeah, this is what I want to be someday, or I want my daughter to date a guy like Johnny Knoxville. No, he's just cool. He's a very cool dude. and he puts his life on the line, his body for what he does. 3 stunts. They did a stunt one time in Jackass 2 where they rode the first bicycle ever built, like those ones with the really big wheel, and they're riding on it in like a parking lot. And so he just stops, crashes the bike, and just flips over. His face connects with the sidewalk,
Oh my.
face first. I mean, they don't stop. They watch it as he's just rolling around in pain, and you just feel it like, oh my, this guy's like cheekbone just got shattered.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Another one really quick. They did like at one of those places called embassies, like different embassies when there's riots, and they did riot gear. So it was Johnny Knoxville, Ryan Dunn, Bam Margera. They did a riot gun test where they had the riot gun shoot off and all these rubber bullets hit them.
Yeah.
And they were like so scared. And they were like they were holding like their hands over their nuts as these rubber bullets just went off, and they just had these awesome welts, just bruises that would hurt for weeks on end.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
no, I saw one where they're out like in the snow or something, and I think they had just like cut down a tree with 2 guys up in it and watched it fall. So they were like, I don't know, slingshots almost, just timber, and then they fell into the ground from this gigantic tree. But after that, they had like this slingshot with something in it. I think it was chocolate, and it was like a high-powered slingshot, and he was like, hey, come here real quick. And he slingshotted it like in his face, and it was like a high-powered, like hard chocolate just launched right in his face, and he started to bleed on his lip. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then he goes and tackles the guy. He starts running after him. It's like, where did they come up with this stuff?
They had an NFL linebacker, Jared Allen, who used to play for the Vikings, come on to one of the Jackass 3, and they just like, all right, Johnny, just go out there like you're catching a pass, okay? And this is what it looks like for real when an NFL player just tackles you. So Johnny Knoxville's like, oh, I'm going to catch the pass. Jared Allen just comes and just destroys Knoxville, just tackles him, just like destroys the life of this man. And he's just like left for dead. Like, oh my gosh, what a hit. Steve-O once took a hook and put it through his cheek to go fishing with sharks, and he was the bait. Knoxville's he's been destroyed by buffalo and bulls, so many times. So many good stuff. Ryan Dunn put a little toy car up his butt, and it got stuck there, and so many good times. So yeah, I think that's our Jackass assessment.
I'm glad you were able to gush about it, and with the movie coming out, I do want to go see it. Maybe not in theaters. Maybe if it comes out somewhere else, I'll watch it from the comfort of my own home, so I don't have to feel embarrassed watching it in the theater.
And you know what? I saw in the theater, and there were a lot of women in the theater, and I was so surprised about that. And they were laughing the whole time, so it was good to be laughing all together as an audience.
Yeah, I'm all for that type of humor. I may not look it, but gross out humor, injury humor, I'm all for it. It cracks me up. It's so funny just watching, because I'm not the one who has to do it. I'm not the one who's in pain. I'm the one who's very safe and no, don't go do that. But the other people go for it. So I'm glad you were able to talk about this. And if you guys have seen Jackass or the other movies or the new one that just came out, in the comments, let us know what you thought down below about it. This was quite an episode, like I always say, but it was. What do you guys think?
Hey, Katie, I love you. All right.
Love you too, man.
It's fun to talk video games.
Wow, friendship, siblingship. We're all friends here. Especially you guys, if you subscribe to us. We can all be friends and a family, in fact. So why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But that is the end of episode 55 of Bump That. If you guys enjoyed this episode, leave us a like, maybe a comment down below of what you thought. What did you think of the direct? Are you upset? Are you excited? Are you meh, like I was? Let us know your thoughts and leave a like or dislike. I don't know. It's free country, I guess. But hey, I've said it before. It's a free country. They can do whatever they want. They don't even have to like if they want. But let us know what you guys think down below. We are signing off. We've got Brian in this corner.
Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to Jack Boy.
We've got KT in this corner.
That's all I got. I can't think
What
of
a
anything.
waste.
What was that? What was that? She went,
Aren't you embarrassed?
No. No, I'm not.
She's not. And I'm Miliana, your host. And thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. We will. What's next week? We've got a guest.
We're
correct?
gonna have a.
Yes.
Is that next week?
Yeah, next week.
That is
We've
next
got
week, yep.
Brian's lovely wife, Joanna, joining us on the episode. So stay tuned for that. And we will see you guys in next week's episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.